What's good, squad? Welcome into another episode of Phuca-Pod, Phucaname product. Find us all across the web at Phucaname, Phucaname. I'm your host, Frosty Phoenix. Catch me across the web at Frosty Phoenix, FROSTYPHENIX. Voice acting, video games, all that good stuff. Here with a usual squad spec and guest squad specs. Squad, introduce yourselves and where people can find you on these interwebs.
Was goody, y'all. You already know. Y'all hearing the voice of Wavy God right now. You already know. Follow me on X, WAVII_GAWD. Or you can follow me on Instagram, WAVII_GAWD_ different places, you know what I'm saying?
I'm still judging you on that first one. I don't know why you're still over there. That's cool.
Hey, man, X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. It got a lot of backlash right now. I don't really use it like that much. I've been using Phucaname and stuff, you know what I'm saying? But you already know, follow Phucaname everywhere on Twitter, X, every social media platform. But it's 5 stars on Apple and Spotify podcast. You already know it's a sneaker lover, anime watcher, video game player. Got like Frosty said, we got 2 special guests today with us. So I'm gonna let them introduce themselves and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Word. I don't know who's going first. I guess that's me. It's King Dizzle out here on the ones and on the twos as well. Man, we go way back, of course, Frosty. We already know the production credits. You can find me on social media. Make sure you find me at King Dizzle Games. King Dizzle Games. What we do is we go over game guides, especially for Rivals. We're going to be branching out to some other games. But right now, we're doing game guides on Rivals. So make sure you give us a follow over there so we can spread the love about all the knowledge and information in this community that there is, creating better players. That's what we're doing over there. King Dizzle Games.
And what's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Lonzo Starr, your favorite CEO and founder of your favorite comic book company, Konkret Comics. You guys can follow me at Lonzo Starr on IG, Facebook, TikTok. You can also follow the brand at Konkret Comics on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, X, all the above, man. And y'all know the vibes. You know what I'm saying?
Always. I'm going to take the time, first of all, having my best friend here, who I worked in radio with in the podcast setting. We'll tell you how many years I'm trying to figure out how to get this man on this show. Same thing.
The code has been cracked.
Same thing.
The Da Vinci Code has been cracked, baby.
Same thing for the homie up top, CEO of Konkret Comics. We're definitely going to have a conversation in general. Just always want to talk about indie comics and just the way the scene's going on. And we talk about, just overall image of creators, black creators, different things like that on the internet. But that's not the conversation today. What we're talking about today is the game that we all play and share as, an intersection. And that is, well, you don't play it as much, but you know what I'm saying? But it's part of the combo. You did play it, so you have an idea. You know what I'm saying? Wavy fell back, but you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. He's home. And that is, and then most of the squad fell back, but no shade. Everybody has their own thing. And that is Marvel Rivals, y'all. The Marvel Rivals. I think we're going on year 2 now. Going strong.
Oh, yeah, it's it too. Still going strong, man.
Yeah.
They have an IP that's like, it's timeless. Like it could add characters for many, many years to come. They didn't even scratch the surface yet, so they got mad time.
Right. Absolutely. This is recording. We're in July, coming up on the end of July 2026. And for the recent updates, I think this is like a big chunk of updates that came for the game that are probably going to carry it for a while, and even a rework of a popular character, one of the legacy characters, which means that reworks. Now, do you mean that tongue in cheek?
It's definitely a character.
That
they reworked.
We'll get to it. And it's a legacy character, which means reworks of other characters are definitely possible. And we'll see if they even are necessary. But we'll get to this one character and what you guys think. So the latest updates for July. The character we're talking about in the first point, Black Widow, Natasha Romanoff, got a rework for how she plays.
The whole way she plays is crazy. Like I was like,
So I haven't dabbled in her like that because, again, the way her kit worked for me, I wasn't a big fan, especially for the access for what she uses for her guns, and especially for like her overall kit and how she plays. She's what we always talk about that in Marvel. Like you got the superpower things, you got Thor, you got all these other people, Cap, you got Iron Man with the blast, and then you got Natasha and Clint with pea shooters and fighting skills. It's like what are we doing here? It's across the whole universe. But for this game in particular, we're talking about Black Widow's rework for how she plays in Marvel Rivals. I'm gonna throw it to K Dizzle because he mains Black Widow. You can talk about how the difference is with what you played with her before and playing with her now after this July update. What you think?
I mean, I think the rework is a success. Yeah, I mean, because if you played Black Widow before this update, you already know this. I'll say this about Black Widow. She was one of my favorite characters to play because I still believe that every character could be S tier depending on the situation. The problem was there wasn't a whole lot of situations where the old Black Widow, if we want to refer to her as that, there wasn't a whole lot of situations where you could extract value, or you had to be of the absolute top tier skill level of Black Widow in order to extract value. That's how I look at a character. Like how can I get value out of them? Not necessarily what can they do, because if you look at that, yeah, Clint and Natasha are tremendously underwhelmed in that capacity, but it's about what they can do, right? They're poke characters. And the problem with Black Widow before is that while her stopping power, if you will, was great, you could finish off enemies great, it required kind of a team effort, right? Like it was hard for you to go out there and just solo, just be picking people off unless your skill was extremely high. And I think with the rework, the biggest thing that the rework did was it allowed Black Widow to contribute more to the team fight other than just KOs, just like final hits and things like that. Now she can pressure enemies. She can apply pressure constantly, on enemies, which means that, yeah, you still have that finishing power to an extent, but you're now contributing. You're getting more value out of the character without having to be an absolute god of accuracy and just skill level with that character. So that to me was the biggest change. You don't have to work as hard to get value, and now you have a poke character that has tremendous stopping power and pressure ability on the offensive end. This is, like I said, I have mained her in the past. I came back around, and she's absolutely my number one duelist right now. So easy to climb up the ranks and to get a lot of kills with her, because now her kit makes sense. Her whole kit makes sense. And you could still play her the same way that you were playing her before if you're an old Black Widow player, but just now you just have more ammo and more abilities to hit the enemy. I think it's great.
Lonzo?
I'll say two things about Black Widow, right? I never played her, ever. I've only came across maybe two godlike Black Widows that I was opposing. Other than that, I don't see her, man. All the characters I play, when I get shot once, she's done. It's over with. I'm coming after her the whole match, and she's done. So I don't. The rework to me, I think it actually hurt Black Widow players because now to play Black Widow, you had to be nice. You had to be really nice, or else the team was gonna get you up out of there. Yo, swap, bro. Swap immediately. You know what I'm saying? And now people think they nice because of her rework, but you still trash. So you got to swap out of that. You know what I'm saying? So I think it just caused people to think they actually nice when they're not, because she's easier to play. You know what I mean? So for me, I don't know. Yeah, bro.
I mean, I think though that's a big part of it though is, like, when people look at the star rating, I say this all the time. They always think that that's how difficult it is to play a character. The star rating is not how difficult it is to play a character. The star rating is how difficult it is to extract value out of that character, right? And so Natasha's 4 stars, not because she's hard to play, because she's hard to extract value. The rework has made it so more people can extract value. And to your point, yeah, it does kind of bring down the overall skill level of Black Widow players, but now more Black Widow can be used more to extract value.
Which makes sense. I know when I first saw Widowmaker, when he first came out, and I'll sound ancient saying that, but she was basically like Widowmaker in Overwatch, And like when Widowmaker came out Overwatch, she was the cool looking character. But then when she was a sniper, it was like, and when you picked her, people were like, "Yo, switch off." You know what I'm saying? Black Widow, I think it was kind of the same thing, but now with the rework, I see after seeing some gameplay, seeing some people play her. Like she's definitely like more close combat now. She has a sniper mode if you want to do that. I think that's the ultimate now too. I think the sniper mode. But yeah, I think it's definitely a step up for what she used to be, and I think it's more to her character too, like in comics or in like the movies, whichever one you want to go by. You know, she's always been close combat. She was like from the assassination school and all that. So like it definitely her kit now definitely like it goes with the character now and everything. Like the sniper thing, like it's cool. But yeah, I think you can get more use of her now from what I see when I see people play her and stuff. So I mean, I would think she's still like not the strongest, but I mean, it's still a step up. At least to me, it's still a step up. You know?
She's
Absolutely.
good
like.
when she's paired correctly. I'll say that. If you got a good, it's just like when somebody's playing like a Black Panther. For the Black Panther to be good, the team got to be doing something to keep attention away from him. You know what I'm saying? So if we not doing our part and we got a Black Widow and everybody knows where she is, she's cooked. You know what I'm saying? But if our team is doing right, if our tank is applying that pressure, keeping them on the front line where they gotta like stay there, so then our Black Widow or our other DPSs that are backliners can sneak around, then you're good. So it really takes a team to extract that value. You know what I mean? If you know who's on your team and you say, all right, you Black Widow, I need you back there. I'm gonna do what I do in the front, but you got to pick off them healers. You know what I'm saying? Do something.
Okay, so she could like be used as like a flanker and stuff like that. She could flank a team and stuff.
She's a good flanker, and I mean, you know, underrated part of the kit, especially with the Phoenix team up now. You know, she can melt a tank. I mean, if you think about the way that Rocket, you know, is underrated as a tank melter. A lot of people just hold that left trigger or hold the heal button, and they forget, you know, about his offensive abilities. Rocket's a tank melter. It's not necessarily that his gun is OP, but when you're that close and there's you have a firing range that's that high, that means headshots really are to your advantage. Now Natasha is that way. When a thing comes into your relative medium range, right, where he can't swing and punch you, but you're close enough to put that dot onto his head and click 3 or 4 times, you know, suddenly that tank's feeling a little bit different about that situation, to your point about, you know, close range combat and things like that. So I think those are ways that with the old Natasha, you could not get value. If the thing is within, you know, 1.5 arm swings of you, you're cooked. You know, you're pretty much done. Now, in that very same situation with the rework, Natasha is to the advantage, right? Because she can apply more damage than Thing can inflict within that range. So those are just, you know, again, ways that you can extract value out of these people, out of these heroes rather, so that you're able to use them more, I think, in situations.
I ain't gonna lie too. Half them cats in that situation be too flustered and scared. They ain't thinking about headshots when they see the thing. They trying to get up out of there.
Right.
That's why they be getting killed.
Yeah.
They trying to run. They trying to, you know what I mean? As soon as you turn your back on the thing, it's over with. You know what I mean? So it takes a high skill level person to know, oh, I can beat Thing. I just got to do these things correctly to do it. Yeah. And a lot of people ain't got that. So then you wind up just having the liability in the back line, and then healers is screaming out. You know,
I think that's why Phoenix right now too, not to get too distracted from the Black Widow thing, but I think that's a reason why Phoenix is kind of in a lower spot right now.
Yes.
Phoenix is very good, but it does require a higher skill tier than just being within poke range and throwing out flames. You know, some of these characters you do have to, you know,
have some good aim.
Yep.
Yeah,
exactly.
You gotta have aim, and see, aim is a reason why you see a lot of people don't play certain characters. Like you don't see when you see a Hela, she's either really good or bad. You know what I mean? When you see a Black Widow, really good or bad. When you see a Namor, because of his squids, people be good, but the ones that get a lot of kills, they got aim.
They got aim. Yep.
You know what I mean? So a lot of people play Scarlet because you ain't got to aim, right? You know what I mean? Cloak is kind of the same way, right? You know, you ain't got to aim, so
Cloak is on the same type of time as Wanda.
Right. So I think a lot of it boils down to skill and just knowledge and where your value comes from when you're playing any of these characters.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I definitely knew about to do that about Scarlet. Like Scarlet was definitely the character to me was definitely the most annoying to play because she was basically like what's her name? I guess you could say like Moira in Overwatch. I think she was like kind of like Moira in Overwatch. She was like or like a Symmetra or whatever. They could just like basically like kind of stick to you or whatever with their power and just drain you for the most part. And that used to annoy me every time. And like you really had to focus on, especially on Wanda, you had to focus on her a lot in order to like if they had a Wanda, you had to focus on them for the most part just so they can get them out of there and everything. So yeah. I
Nothing
could
worse
definitely see
than a
that.
flanking Wanda.
Mm-hmm.
Dude,
Flanking Wanda
That
was the
knows what
worst.
they're doing. That knows what they're doing.
ooh,
Yeah,
flanking
that was
Wanda
a-
is
Flanking Wanda is
crazy.
nuts. Yeah.
Flanking Wanda, flanking Spider-Man when he was being used a lot. Like I hated playing a good Spider-Man. Like he was.
Ooh, yeah, yeah.
Spider-Man's back in season
Well,
9 too.
we'll hold on to that because I think it's one of those things where teasing the conversation a little later. Characters that high, mid, low. Characters that stayed mid and got high, were mid and went low. Various things. The Spider-Man, I would say, is definitely one of those characters that stays mid to high, but you could be really bad with him too. But that's a whole other conversation entirely.
I mean, yeah, that's definitely a thing. Like that's why I never played
The
Spider-Man.
floor
'cause I
is
was never-
extremely low.
Yeah,
on
like
Spider-Man.
if you're not pedaling the right way, doing the right things. Even me, I don't even bother touching Spider-Man. Like I'm not getting the reps in the practice range or whatever, try to understand what I'm doing with him in straight paths. He is not a character to try to play in the field unless you know what you're trying to do.
He's definitely the hardest player to play.
Yeah.
Like if I just don't got the patience to try to learn him. But Spider-Man,
I'm with it. Same.
Spider-Man is when you come across those gods that be out there. My God, bro.
Yeah,
they are.
Either
know what I mean?
either you a Wussy Parker or you Peter Parker out here. Like the people that be like, Spider-Man now scrap with everybody in Civil War. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that bull was out there. You know what I'm saying? So it depends on your skill level. Now I'm gonna move a character up in the conversation. I was gonna hold it for a second just because it wasn't necessarily in an order here for the main points. But now on the opposite side of support for Black Widow, we got a new character, which is one of the things that we always talk about. Support.
Yep.
Jubilee gets added to the team, gets added to the roster. Look, when I tell you that I played her a bit, I like the way she heals. And after a video I saw actually with King Dizzle and understanding her kid a little better, and even a tip I got from Lonzo from a teammate that you and I played with. Lonzo, we play a team on Rivals. Tip, shout out to Mark. He's going to love that I'm shouting him out right now. Telling me about the bubble burst and her infinite attack to then unleash a bubble and use that infinite ammunition on the bubble to expand the range. And once you get a flow going, she's very versatile. Every healer that we always get in the game when they're introduced is very versatile until some type of rework hits or people start to understand how to get around it to a degree, or it just seems like they just kind of see a nerf. But just talking about her introduction and what you've seen on the field, and if you've played her, we'll go with Lonzo first, and then Dizzle, and then Wavy. What do you think? What do you think about Jubilee? Jubilation Lee in Marvel Rivals.
I think for me, Jubilee is great. I like the movement. It's easy to play as her. You don't feel as vulnerable. Like if you get caught in the back line, she kind of, she's fast, so you don't feel like how you feel when you're playing like Mantis. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're playing Mantis, if you don't hit that sleeper thing to get away, you're done. You're out of there. But Jubilee, you can move. You can kind of put the healing thing around you and do what you got to do. So I think it's dope. I think I'm more so tank main Frosty, right? Like I play everything, but when I'm tank, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So for me, if I got a Jubilee on my team and she's locked in, I feel like the heals are fantastic. I don't know if she is there's only a few healers that I think can solo heal. Like if it came down to like a solo heal situation for some odd reason, she may be one of them that could do pretty good. like her and like maybe Cloak and Dagger and them. White Fox, I guess, is pretty good. I never played White Fox, but the ones I've seen, she heals really good for tanks. But Jubilee, I like the pairing of Jubilee and Gambit. It's a very good pairing when you got those two as your healers, because they both fast, they both got a wide range, and they can fight as well. So they're not. You don't really hear Jubilees or Gambits crying from the back lines too often. You know what I mean?
I hear that.
Yeah, I mean, she I think is probably the most fun to play with right now in terms of strats. And I'm a strat main. This is what we do, and it does get kind of boring back there for some characters because you're always playing the same positioning, and you're oftentimes punished for getting out of position. And being out of position for a strategist means that you're being a little bit more assertive offensively. You're helping out with the offensive push, and sometimes that's what your team needs. As a strategist, you kind of got to be more like a point guard in basketball too. So you want to set up the offense, right? You're directing and you want to set up the offense, but your scorers are going to do what your scorers are going to do. Your big man's going to do what your big man's going to do, right? It's not necessarily your responsibility always, to score, even though you as the point guard can score. So I liken a lot of strategists, to that strategy. Jubilee has the ability to sort of press on the offensive, engine as well, which adds an element to what she's doing. And to Lonzo's point, she can put out enough healing when you really lock in on heals to be a solo healer or to be one of a duo in terms of healing. And some of the most fun healers to play right now, you can pretty much only play in triple support, or your team only really feels comfortable playing them in triple support. So now you've got a strategist that's fun to play, that can apply offensive pressure, but can also provide main level, main power heals essentially at the end of the day if necessary. So that, that's kind of the biggest thing I find with her is that she's everything that you could need as a strategist. She can be, depending on how you play her. But the one caveat is that she is not easy to use. She is not pick up and play like, oh, just aim at your team and just heal them, you'll be fine. There are layers of her kit. You have to do step 1, then step 2, then step 3, right? But it is worth it because, to your point, Frosty, like once you unleash level 3 of her kit, which is really activating those sparkle beams and being able to provide pretty much a constant stream of healing, high intensity healing, for lack of a better term, I'd put her right up there. But she's not easy to use, and I think that's going to push a lot of the general crowd away from using her in ranked and intense situations.
That's a good comparison too with the that the healer or the strategist is like the point guard in basketball. I've been playing these kind of team shooters a couple of times every now and then, but I never thought of that they were like the point guard and stuff. I know, like, obviously like your DPS or your duelists, they like basically the shooting guard, small forwards or whatever, the scorers and everything, the big men like the power forwards in the centers. But I never thought of the healer as like the point guard of the team, because there's a couple, like if you find a good strategist or a good healer or whatever, they could definitely get some buckets and everything, and they'll definitely get some assists out there, the healers and everything like that. But but they can score if they want to. Like that's how I was doing when I was playing with Mantis. That was my healer or my strategist when I was playing with Mantis a lot. But she's definitely a light character, so like you get caught, it's all for you, and it's like you better have 2 healers if you have a Mantis on your team. You know what I mean? So the Jubilee is like, I feel like she's not really the same, but kind of is, from what y'all were just saying and everything, and from what I see of people playing her. Like, I was actually wondering how they were going to put her in this game. Like, how were they going to like make her? You know what I'm saying? Because I read first of all, X-Men comics. There's a lot of X-Men comics, so it's like it's so hard to keep up with all of them and shit. But I never really knew her powers like that, so I was always kind of wondering like how are they going to incorporate her in this game? Like what is she going to be? A duelist, a strategist? I don't know what she was going to be. So it was surprising to see how they like incorporated her in everything. So
for sure, like I think for people that are surface level understanding X-Men, like you think Jubilee is just pyrotechnics, just like, and they even play her a lot in the storylines as like a damsel in distress to a degree. She's never really saving anyone. She's always usually getting into something and being saved, right? But you never think about her as being like someone that will get the whole team out of situation. Like when Logan shows up, when Scott shows up, oh, all right, I'm cool. We about to be saved, But you don't see Jubilee show up and go, I'm saved. You see Jubilee and go, oh man, we about to have to get saved by Logan or Scott or Gene or Bobby, like Iceman or somebody else, but Jubilee.
Yeah. X-Men 97 is doing a good job with like showing this stuff though right now. So I appreciate 97 for that.
Yeah.
I feel like Jubilee is definitely, she's very versatile, but one thing about playing a strat is a lot of people don't understand how important it is for that strat and tank communication as well.
1,000%, yeah.
The strat sees the whole field like a point guard, right? Or a quarterback. But the tank is like the center of the quarterback. So I hear what you're calling out, but they doing something right here. You know what I mean? So you that communication is very well. And the second strategist is very important because their job is not necessarily to heal the tank. They're supposed to be making sure the other healer is good. So you heal the other healer while that healer is healing the tank, and y'all can both, if they good, y'all can both just be healing whoever. But when it gets muddy, you got to heal the other healer. And usually that should be that shouldn't be a Jubilee. Like if you got an Adam Warlock in a Jubilee, Adam should be healing Jubilee. You know what I mean? Doing what they got to do.
I'm going to make a comparison real quick. I'm going to throw a Yu-Gi-Oh reference in here because it's what I know.
Oh. Okay.
So there's a monster called the Marauding Captain, level 4 warrior. And when you summon it, you can summon something else, another level 4 or lower warrior to the field. The bottom effect is when another warrior is present. I think it's either one way. When another warrior is present, you cannot attack this monster. Now imagine having two of them on the field next to each other. You can't attack this one, and you can't attack this one. So they're literally bouncing off each other. That cuts off a strat. You have to figure out how to attack a person over those two because you can't hit them straight. You got to do something different. So we're talking about holding down the field for these two things as long as they're feeding off of each other. So I think it's like to your point that just brought to my mind, Lonzo.
I was going to say, I think if I'm reading you correctly, and I think that is a really important part, that everyone is important. You want to keep everyone alive, of course, but also as a strategist, you do have the choice. I was watching a video, and I wish I had the reference right now so that I could give them credit. But they basically said that your life is the most important life as the strategist on the field at any given time, and you get to then decide who else lives as well. It's a very powerful sort of role. But to to that point, if you want to have that sort of shield level of protection for your entire team, protect your tanks, right? Like your tanks are there to create space in whatever way that is. And if you are not, as a strategist, keeping them up, you now don't have that sometimes invisible barrier that exists between you and the enemy team. So a lot of strategists, they're getting absolutely murked in the back line, and they'll say, "Hey, look, we need to get this, the divers and stuff like that. That's communication that you need, of course. But you got to understand what actually protects you is the team in front of you. And oftentimes the core, the keystone of that team that's in front of you is the tank. It's the vanguard. You want to keep that vanguard upright. Even if it costs you extra time and attention out of whatever it is that you're doing, trust me, it'll pay back dividends later on in the fight, 10 seconds later in the fight. When the enemy might be exhausted of their resources, but your tank is still up swinging. That can make a big difference in whether or not you end up cleaning up and getting kills at the end of the day, as opposed to you trying to press forward and fight alongside the tank to get kills in that way. So I've found that that's a little bit more effective as a strat as well.
Yeah, no, it's definitely very important. I think that's what the true nature of the 2-2-2 is, right? Because when we got 2 tanks, 2 DPS, 2 healers, and I'm sure Frost heard me coaching a other tank before. Like if somebody's playing Penny, I'll say, "Yo, bro, you don't move. You stay kind of near the team. I'm gonna be jumping back and forth as Thor. I'm gonna be messing them up in the back line to scatter them so that our DPS can attack."
Yep.
Or if he's a thing and I pick Thor again, I also tell him, don't go too far. Let me go because I can fly back and forth. I go attack them in the back line and jump back here to help you. But I kind of coach sometimes the people behind me, and I let the healer know, like, yo, don't worry about none of them. You just heal him. I'm gonna protect that tank as a tank. And DPS, one of you stay back to help the healers. The other of you coming with me. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And we kind of roll like that. There was one game, me and Frost was playing like Iron Fist, I think.
Oh yes.
Listen, bro. I said, bro, we not gonna see nobody this whole game. We not gonna see nobody. I said, just follow me, man. And Frost, because he was Iron Fist, it was easier for him to kind of distract him. And I'm Black Panther, so and then we got out of there. So, that coordination, when you got that right coordination in the game, man,
Mhm.
you don't feel nothing like it.
100%. 100%.
Tanks is like that's how I used to play. Cause my main was Thor and stuff. So yeah, like that was like that's how he's used though. Like you're like definitely like you're one of the tanks, but like you get to go out a little further because you go like especially on like he does a lot of damage to like the lines. You could do a lot of damage over there, but then he has the ability to like you can get back to the team whenever you want to, and then get some heals real quick. That's why I always looking like I need some heals, need some heals, need some heals, need some heals. But that's where you like learn from the basics when you playing any kind of team support game. It's like you have the healers, but then you have that healer that if you see a tank and a really fire tank, and then there's a healer like right behind it,
it's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's a wrap.
On top of that too, if that team's DPSs are like enforcers, like they're not even spread out, they're just over top of the healers, making sure nothing gets to them. You can't do nothing. And in some cases, that's when you can have one tank, 3 DPSs, and 2 healers.
Right.
Because and it's usually when you see a tank like that, it's usually when it's like a Magneto or a Strange, because they're just protecting. They're not really out looking for kills. They're just like, we just gonna push through this map nice and slow. Take our time. Nobody's gonna die. You know what I'm saying? But when you see that, you need like the only strategy I think for that type of setup, when it's like one tank, 3 DPSs, and 2 good ass healers, you gotta have like an Iron Man a mile back, and you gotta disrupt that. You gotta disrupt in there somehow. And if your team got a magic, she can just swoop in and get out of there. Because once you scatter them, it's a wrap.
Another funny point is like when Lonzo and I are playing, and I'll be trying other characters. Like generally I'm in DPS, but I'll go support is where I stay. Now if I go tank, I go a different direction. The funniest points are always when we're pushing and we're doing the thing, and it's between myself, Lonzo, Mar, and other homie Oatmeal, and we're communicating, and we're not pushing. Lonzo will go, Frost, I'm gonna need that Iron Man action, bro. Like calling a strat, and I go, all right. I don't know. I don't believe it's going to change anything. I hop on Iron Man, change up, and I'm like, damn it, Lonzo. He'd be like, it's what we needed, bro. Like it's
sometimes it happens, man.
It's like every time I hear that now, I laugh because we'll be trying to push. I hear Lonzo go, hey, yo, Frost, we need that Iron Man action, bro. And I'll be like, like calling it down. You know what I'm saying? Being specific about what you know you need at the time.
I can't get in to where I'm trying to get to because maybe it's a penny or something that's holding me back. So I know once you start shooting, the healer's gonna try to scatter, and now whoever I'm looking for, I'm gonna get them. You know what I mean?
Strategy.
It's almost like it's a team game, you know.
What? it's not all about me, 5 DPS and 1 healer for some reason. Right, with a direct message talking about, hey yo, change.
Switch.
Everybody change.
Swap off whatever you're doing. I'm 31-0, but my team's losing.
It's a team game. Who would have thought? That's crazy.
Team is getting cooked, but I got 24 kills, man.
I got 24 kills, bro. Like, what are you gonna tell me? You can't say nothing to me.
I used to hate those kind of people out there. I used to hate those kind of people. Like, I got 24. All right, so what clearly it's not you're not contributing to the team though. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Ain't nothing worse than when you see somebody complaining no hills, and then it's the end of the game, and our healers was like 30K each. You know what I'm saying? 30K each, and we lost. Our healers was wilding. It's like, bro, you not a tank. You wasn't getting that.
Try
you know what I mean?
else, man.
Period. So 2 points I know before we get to the fun questions. Marvel Rivals started off as a PvP game. Is what it is at base, but it has PvE elements now, especially with like the Blood Hunt game that you can play with vampires. Tunes, I believe you're telling me about Ben Grimm's thing where you can go to a club or whatever. And then there's another one update coming up by the time this episode releases. I believe there's another mode coming for something involving Ultron in the Age of Ultron for a PvE mode. In addition to also, you can go hang out at the beach. You can go hang out in Manhattan. Just pick your favorite character and go hang out with a bunch of people, grow them sizes, take pictures, talk to people, do whatever. And then there's other game modes too where you just scrap with people. There's no goal. There's just you and your team scrapping, period. And then there's, you versus everybody else in the room scrapping, period. So a lot of modes that are available in this game. Is trying to be your one-stop shop for all things gaming. Oh, I just like to play PvE. We got that. Oh, I only like fighting people. Oh, we got that. I'm not a team person. I just like scrapping with people. Oh, we got that. Oh, I like just looking good of my skin that I bought and I want to hang out in Manhattan or on the beach and take pictures. Oh, we got that. It's trying to be a one-stop shop for free 99. Well, free, but there's paid to pick. There's barriers to entry.
Free at base.
Where do you guys find yourself being? Like, do you guys only hop in and do the thing that we initially came here for? Or do you find yourself also dabbling in the new features that they try to introduce to keep you here?
I don't really mess with the PvE modes probably as much as other people. They are fun to play. I like that you can go to the beach, that there's something else to do other than be in the menu screen of the game. It does add to the quality of life, I suppose, of what's going on. I still think that playing Rivals as it's played is still the main attraction there. And so I think if they have some other things that are going to, as you said, keep people on the game a little bit longer or whatever else like that, I think that's fine. But I think, though, that a lot of this stuff appeals more to the people that already play the game, and it's giving them more so than a way to attract other people from other games. It's just something to do while you're on the game. It's just something to give to the people that are dedicated to the game already. But I'm not super crazy about the PvE modes. We'll see about the Ultron situation, but it's something, I suppose, to do.
It's a mode.
It's a mode.
It definitely exists. I haven't been crazy about any of them. Some have been better than others, but overall, personally, I haven't been crazy about it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I discovered the PvE thing by accident. I was on a game with some people, and they were just waiting for like another friend, so they was in New York. I said, let me just walk around. I was looking at the different little clubs they got. They got like a dance floor. You can just dance down there. And there was another section that's like called Ben Grimm's Club, and it's like a ring. And next thing I know, I got challenged by somebody. I said, damn, let me check this out. And it was just a 1v1. But it was dope the way they did it. It wasn't like I didn't see who they were picking. So you pick like 3 characters, and then it just counts down, and then whoever your first character is, that's who you show up in the ring as, then you just fight. But you got all your powers, all your specials that you got to use. So for my first fight, I picked Loki because I'm like, I'm gonna just go invisible and just do what I do. And they picked the Psylocke, so it was a dope match. There was a lot of invisibility and planning, but it didn't take away from the game. And then when I was done, I just hopped back and did the regular game. I feel like that was perfect. I don't know if creating like a whole PvE, like a whole section for it where people can just click it and that's all they do. I think that's a little much, but kind of like what King Dizzle said, it just adds to people being bored, waiting for their friends. They just waiting for the lobby to fill up, or maybe they, something's happening. They just go collect something or go try to win some prizes over at the beach or do something. So it's fun. It's kind of like Fortnite, I guess, because Fortnite be having that stuff too, where they be having little sections you can go in and get free XP for just spinning a wheel or something like that. Mm-hmm. So I don't mind it. I have no intentions on doing none of those other game modes because I play competitive. I ain't got no time for nothing but the game.
Yeah. So, yeah. I dabbled in Blood Hunt for a while. I haven't gone back in a while, but I did like it. for what it was, especially, of course, the mode is made for Blade, and I definitely practice with that. I'm picking up Blade as a DPS for my general purposes, but when I played him there, it was definitely made for him. You can play as Blade, Thor, Punisher,
Squirrel Girl.
Magic, Squirrel Girl?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I think it is Squirrel Girl, right?
Yeah.
Magic, Squirrel Girl, and I think Jeff or something like that. It's not everybody. It's not everybody in Blood Hunt, but it's just a few characters, and you can level them up and give them best extra skills, or you could customize them to be like, oh, all super all the time, no super at all, boost my basic attack, like that kind of thing. Customize. And the point is to try to get to the end to fight the boss at the end. I'm not spoiling necessarily for anybody, but it's like an undead character. I'm not going to spoil it. Very Marvel Zombies inspired, and it was very parallel with, at the time of release, Marvel Zombies releasing on Disney Plus. So you get a clue of what the boss is at the end from that. So, you know, I think it's interesting that that's there, like the panel said so far, and then when Wavy weigh in a second. I just think when we're talking about free games and what's offered in the conversation that we're also talking about now, I just find it interesting that everybody's starting to try to stretch the range of being more than just the thing that they brought to the table. Just trying to, you know, spice up the gumbo a bit to make sure you stay for a little bit longer. Wavy.
Yeah, I mean, from what I hear right now from you guys, it sounds like y'all just here to fight, and that's it. Y'all here to fight. Yeah, I try to get these ranks up and all that. But I mean, from what these PvE modes, I mean, it's Marvel Rivals being like Frosty said, they trying to have like the one-stop shop for everything, which that's how you're supposed to do as a game. You're supposed to like have the PvP mode, which was your main thing. But then you have the other modes, you just want to chill out, have a good time, but you're still on the game. That's what they really want. And it's a good strategy and all that. Like, I know Blood Hunt, that seems pretty cool. Only doing certain characters. Even before that, they had like the limited time modes, like the Jeff the Shark had the mode where everybody choose Jeff the Shark, and you're just having the all-out Jeff the Shark mode, and that was a long time ago.
I think that was a Christmas or something like that.
Yeah,
it was
Christmas
like,
thing, like
Halloween,
last year, 2 years ago, like when it first came out. It was a minute ago.
Yeah.
And it was like, you know, they're doing these timely modes, so that's I'm pretty much like I get it, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, yeah, I mean, I'll get people back on the game. They have a limited time mode, just have a different kind of modes. I like people don't want to like, especially when if you're on rank for a little bit, a lot of sweats on there. I already know there's a lot of sweats on there and everything, and they just want to take a break for a little bit. You know, we just go on this PvE mode real quick, get some computers, some bots, whatever, and, you know, just unalive them real quick for a little bit, actually have some fun, and then after a while, you know, then you get back on ranked, and then, you know, we'll see what happens there.
Get your warm-ups in.
Exactly. Get your warm-ups in for a little bit. Get your warm-ups in for a little bit, get your practice mode in, get your shots up, and then when you're ready, get in the rank. And it's time and now it's game time. So I get why they do that, the PvE and the PvP mode. I think it's really good because it's just basically what Overwatch 2 wanted. That's what they wanted. You know what I'm saying? And we talked about that before. That like,
yes,
I think personally that Marvel Rivals lit a fire underneath Overwatch 2. Because Overwatch 2, even when they were developing, they were talking about having a PvE mode. People were hype about that, and they scrapped it. And it's like, all right, but you still launched it as Overwatch 2, but it's the same with Overwatch. Like,
now, and we've talked about it in the previous episode. Now it's what?
Now it's just Overwatch. He took 2 out. It's like, okay, so y'all acknowledging y'all are wrong. Okay, got it. And then, you know, but I think Marvel Rivals, now they got everything that Overwatch should have had. PvE mode, PvP, the endless characters, and I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon. But yeah, the PvE mode, I think that's a good strategy just to have, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I have no issue with that at all. Like, I think it's good that they have it. Like, all of them too. Like, it's crazy, actually.
Crazy. It's crazy. Let's see. So the fun part of the conversation now is we've been talking about strategies. We're talking about what's available in the game, our thoughts on different characters. We're talking about Black Widow, Jubilee. I didn't really get into them because I didn't study them. I kind of took a break, but it's like I think the editions before this were like Black Cat and White Fox.
Mm-hmm.
And Black Cat's really interesting because she's trying to be like a multi situation going on with her jewel that gives her like multiple powers to access. I think she's definitely a certain skill ceiling. And then White Fox, see her a lot, is definitely an optional healer as well. But I haven't seen a whole lot. But I've seen good ones but say Jubilee being the latest and Black Widow being the reworked part of it is
You know how that
a
go
big
when
piece
a
of
new
it.
character comes out and starts playing it for like a long amount of time, and then they goes back to the regular. You know,
Mhm.
how that go.
You know, but we'll go around and just talk about the mains and who are your mains in each category. And I'd probably say, well, I've mastered everyone. Or, I got the one. Now I'm talking to you people. We're talking about I play this one character, just the one. You know what I'm saying? It's one trick pony, right? But we'll go Dizzle, Tunes, and then Wavy. Who are your mains in each category? If you say tank, none, DPS, that like who are your mains? Who are your mains? And then I'll go after Wavy.
Oh shoot. So this sounds like an odd main because I am a strategist main, but I'm an Ultron main. Like I am an absolute animal with Ultron. I play at the absolute highest levels. He's somebody that I think plays a little bit better whenever you get up, to the higher elos because you can strategize and whatnot. But yeah, Ultron is my strat main.
And shout out to you getting his upgrade. I whiffed on that. Two drones instead of the one when he started off initial cut. He has 2 drones now.
Sure. Even with one drone, I was pretty much able to get him up to Lord even with one drone. The second drone is a lot more expansive. You can be a lot more strategic with 2 drones as well. So he's a really good strategist. I main him. As for my duelist, it's the role that I play the least right now. It's got to be Black Widow. I mean, I've mained some other DPSs. Because they were just better than Black Widow. I like playing with Black Widow when she was better. Now Black Widow's good, so I'm back to Black Widow as my main. And as for the Vanguards, it's Devil Dino right now. I don't get a chance to play him as much in ranked. He's heavily banned in ranked. But, whenever he does get through the ban phase, absolute monster with Devil Dino. And I've just been learning his kit as of the last, half a season or so. So it's been really fun to learn him.
Okay, we're gonna start strategist. I play a lot. You know what I mean? I play a lot of characters, but I think it depends on who I'm paired with. If I don't know the other players, like in competitive, and we need a healer, I'll probably go Sue, maybe. But recently I've been doing Gambit a lot. But if we talking just lords, I'm a Lord Loki. So
Nice.
I was grinding crazy with Loki. But I mean about four different strats. Loki, Sue, Gambit, and Jubilee for sure. And I can do an Atom as well. DPS is Namor, Black Panther for sure. That's all I need. But I rarely get to play DPS. Like I rarely get to play it.
Exactly.
But on the
playing
stats,
DPS, honestly.
on the stats, like according to my history or my, my stats, my most win category is if I'm Namor. I win the most when I'm him. And I think my most I'm most proud of my Lord Black Panther because I built that when he got debuffed. I mean, it was tough. That was probably the hardest Lord to get that I've ever got. Because I was in the trenches, man. And any of y'all Black Panther mains, y'all know the healers ain't coming for you, man. They're not looking for you. They don't see you. So you really got to get it. I had endless fights with Spider-Man. Endless fights with that man. Unrelentless. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Black Panther, Namor. And then when it comes to Vanguard, which I'm permanently locked in damn near, I don't know. I think I'm really good at Strange and Magneto. Those are my 2 first lords. But I think my versatility with Thor is gotten a little crazy. It's gotten a little crazy. But those are my 3 lord tanks. And really, if it's requested, I'll go Mag. That depends on what the DPS is or whoever's asking for it. I'll go Mag or I'll go Strange if there's a wand on the team. But if I just need to beat some folks up, I'm going Thor.
That's a good one. That's a good list. As one of your mains is definitely my main. Always my main since the beginning. So Thor, that's definitely my main. I've been on him since the game first came out. But also Penny too. I like Penny a lot. Penny, I think, is a little more. You can move a little more with Penny. Well, I think you move a little more with Thor, but Penny has a little more like gadgets and stuff that make it so you have like a lot of traps. So I really mess with Penny after I learned to use her. And for if you go on duelist, I don't do, like I said, I don't do DPS a lot. Even back in Overwatch, I never did DPS a lot. Cause I tried them, I couldn't really do. I couldn't get the most out of them, especially in Marvel Rivals 2. So, but if I do a duelist, I will usually pick Moon Knight and everything. I don't know if people like really use him right now like that now. When I see, if people still use
I
him,
will ban him right now.
What you mean?
Like there's no one else on there. There's no suggestions. I'm banning. Like seriously, he's my first one. I'll take a penny in my match before Moon.
It's the J.K. Simmons video. If I see another one of these, one of them ox on the field, I don't care what I'm doing. I shoot it down to even get it. I don't care if you finish it off. The health is here if I don't destroy it myself.
Right.
I see an onk, I'm shooting it.
You treat onks the same way you treat Iron Man. You see it, shoot it. Please, right now. Don't wait. Don't let it sit there because it will hurt you.
Bro.
Like, I even know. Okay, so Moon Knight is still. All right,
he's still that guy, yo. He's still that guy.
Yeah, if you know what you're doing, he's an extremely disruptive character.
And remember, they had to slow his super down.
That's right, they did. I remember that. Yeah. I now noticed it too. When they did do that, I was like, yeah, I could definitely tell now. It's definitely a lot.
Dude, it's still fast enough to get me.
What did you do? What did you do? You didn't do anything. You didn't do anything.
Him and Squirrel Girl, I feel like get they special so fast because they get so many hits.
So much
you got that onk, that junk going crazy. Squirrel Girl don't even got to be in the same arena to just throw her special off the walls. So they get they special so fast before you know it, squirrels are running at you. And before you know it, you hear Kanju coming.
The moon!
Yep. Moon has haunted me many, many times.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Hey, because Squirrel Girl, I remember she was basically like Junkrat. And over, I'm like, yo, I'm tired. I'm really tired of this. If you find a good squirrel, it's just throwing it, it's launching them anywhere. And like you said, squirrels coming at you right after because the ultimate comes so fast and everything. So she was definitely the ones I was so annoyed at.
The kill cam I see when I get got by a Squirrel Girl, she's not even looking at me.
Nope.
She's not even looking at me.
She's launching them, whatever, and then she's like just
pissing me off.
Whatever.
Especially if everybody's in one spot, don't let a Squirrel Girl just be off in the over on a cliff or whatever. She's just launching them in that same spot, and then
I ain't gonna lie. You know what kill cam feels personal every time I see it is when somebody's using a hella like hella when she kills you it's personal. Like she was
there's no accidents with her.
There's no accident. She was really trying to take you out. Every time you see it, it's like she wasn't looking at nothing else.
No,
you.
Period.
Like, damn.
Well, except I would even see even then with the squid boost with Namor, and when you on the spot, the squid pops up and finishes you off. You know what I'm saying? Like,
the squids is relentless, man.
You know,
I actually, you know what's crazy? I didn't know how to play Namor at first. It's crazy how certain characters teach you how to play other ones.
Yes,
right?
I agree with that heavily.
I wasn't really I wanted to play Magneto when it first dropped, but I was trash. So then I played Strange, and then I knew how to play Magneto way better. And then I wanted to play Namor, but I didn't know how. But I played Loki, and the way I placed my clones, I said, that's same as Namor.
Turret is a turret.
You know what I'm saying? So
crazy how certain characters teach you how to play other ones.
Yeah.
I mean, I've read a lot.
I'll get to that in a second, but Wavy continue. You said Moon Knight, you were on your DPS.
Yeah, and then for strategist, like I said before, I used Mantis. That's what I was using before, because like she was very free flowing, and like, you know, she did a good amount of damage. And it was a time, I don't know if it's still like that, but it was a time that like everybody had a Mantis on their team. They were just basically DPS at that point. Yeah, and they, like it was like a DPS / healer. You know what I'm saying? So it was definitely a time where it was like that. I don't know if it's like that a lot now. I know Jubilee just came in the game and everything. There's a couple more healers, a couple more strategists. So yeah, I was using Mantis a lot when I had her, because she reminded me of Zenyatta from Overwatch and everything. So, but yeah. But those are my teams I would usually. So it'd be Thor, Penny, Moon Knight if I played Duelist, and then Mantis and everything. That's usually what I did.
Okay. Tanks, my fallbacks fall into. I was a Cap main for a long time. I'd abandoned him at one point. I kind of got to go back to him because I think I got intimidated for the fact that he's a tank diver. He can hold the line in the front, but he is a tank diver. Now that's a whole different subcategory, right? Like a subcategory. Like he's not a Thor where he goes in and moves the room around. You know, he's not that, right? He is very much like in the movies. He jumps in, pat, pat, and keeps it pushing. But he's got a different kit, right? So I was very much Cap. I'd also main Emma Frost. Like that crowd control super is crazy. The thing I don't like is that her shield is really weak. If it was pumped up a little bit more, I probably would feel a little more comfortable. So I think that's that with tanks, my main two go-tos. Now I'll play Thing, I'll play Thor, I've never touched Strange, and I've never touched Magneto because of what I understand and the needs are for them. And I don't really fall into those categories of needs, especially when it comes to when I'm with Toons and Mar in our team, or if I'm playing by myself. I never fall into that Plinko category of choosing one of them for my own options. Just for what I know, what I understand the team needs and what I'm best at. So they don't land on that. Not that I never will, but right now that's just not my thought process. DPS, I'm an Iron Man Lord. Now I've gotten, here's the insulting part of people. When sometimes you play the game and you either are having a bad time or having a good time, depending on what's going on. If you're having a bad time and you're Lord and you just can't land those shots, and of course you get the DMs like, oh, how are you an Iron Man Lord? It's called being human and having a bad day. Relax. Right. But I got here. Okay, relax. Just be jealous or whatever. You're better than me. Fantastic. I'm gonna go get my job and go hang out with my wife and watch TV. Congratulations. But Iron Man, Mr. Fantastic has been a great pickup for me. I didn't really think much about him, but definitely a great pickup for me for the range, for his standalone. His standalone for me is PlayStation, so R1. His standalone bumper R1 for survivability when I'm in a pinch. I don't use his other move where he can stretch and bring people together. I find that move is inconsequential, not because you don't have enough time to bring people together that don't stand together enough. People should be moving. That move shouldn't really be utilized. If people are standing long enough for Mr. Fantastic to do the grab and smack together, y'all are doing something wrong.
That's where you want to get those healers, or you get both their healers in the same one, though. Knock them into each other like a gong show bong. That could be useful there. Just a small tip, but anyway.
I'll think about that because especially if I'm looking to use it on.
Get healer in both of them, but yeah.
Exactly, But I'm dabbling in Blade. I have a Hawkeye. I have used Hawkeye, and I want to get good with him. I have hit good shots. I've hit bad shots. I've done a lot of different things with him, but I don't find use for him in the games that I play. Like we talk about, like when people pick DPS or when it's open and the needs are met, I try to utilize him, but it depends on like what my aim's looking like that day, or a lot of different variations for things. But I really like Hawkeye. So that's mains for DPS. Oh, and then of course, like I've dabbled in, like Lonzo mentioned, like Iron Fist. I'm trying to master the air juggle, like him running in the sky. I haven't mastered that yet, but it is what it is. Daredevil, dabbled with him a little bit too. I gotta get back to that.
He's a duelist, right?
Yes.
That makes sense. If he was anything else, I'd be like, all right, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. And then strategist. Now my mains now go to our Cloak and Dagger, Sue, and Jubilee now, and then Ultron my fourth if I really think about it. But those three are definitely my top. Jubilee just for the strat that I talked about earlier about as soon as you get the spark for the infinite bullets and you're healing and filling up the bubble. I love that versatility for that. I love that. Like versus the struggling of Cloak and Dagger healing everybody individually. It's just like, all right, you're done. Okay. You're done. You're hurt again? All right, okay. All right, you're done. All right, cool. Shield out. Wall of healing. Damn it, you're hurt again? All right. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's really interesting.
Life of a strategist right there.
Sue is like when you drop the shield down, you expect people to go to it and heal. Like, you put it in a place, go there and heal. And people go, I'm good. I mean, you suck. It's like, that was there. That was there for you. All right. That's okay. That's cool. All right. We'll keep pushing. That's great. That's fantastic. But yeah, those are my characters. I found that when we're talking strategists, I think like we talk about, I think when you really have an understanding of team compositions and what people need, I find that all of us, I think we can agree that you meet the need of the strategist because you most people want to be DPS, the hero, even sometimes a tank. But everybody wants to be the hero, wants to be the damage.
Everybody wants to be DPS every time. It's been like that since the beginning of beginning of these kind of team shooter games. It's always everyone wants to be the DPS because they want to get the most kills. They want to save the day. They want to do that, but then you have to come with the realization that sometimes you're not meant for that.
You're not the main character, champ.
You know.
Maybe we need to hold some space.
And like you said before, even some healers can be a DPS if you're good enough. You know.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing about this game. Everybody gets bodies. Everybody gets bodies. Like you know, what I mean, not everybody's gonna have 40 plus games. You know what I'm saying? Like that's crazy. Like most of the time when you see it, most of the time when the team really clicked up, and you say you got 2, 2, and 2. You'll see your tanks are usually, both of them might got 15 kills, right? Both of them. And your DPS is both in like the 20 range, and your healers are like right around like 11, 10. That means everybody's just doing their job. But oftentimes you may see DPS with like 50 kills, and then we lost. You know what I mean? Because he's doing insignificant kills. He's not killing the people that we need to win. He's just whoever's in front of him. He's just taking them out, or he's out here battling another DPS. When that don't help us, like let your tanks take out the DPSs. Let our DPS take out the healers. Then let the whatever our healers are giving the tanks is hitting the other tanks, and that's what helps us kill the tanks. You know what I mean? Because a tank fighting a tank is pointless. We're both being healed. We're both just we're going back and forth. You know what I mean? It don't make sense. So, like you gotta take pieces off the board. Like I don't. Sometimes I'll let I'll tell Frost. Sometimes I'll let a tank walk past me because I'm like, oh yeah, once he's past me, I'm getting who's behind him.
And I heal him.
That's it. And I tell the DPS, yo, Frosty, aim at such and such because I'm gonna get who's behind him. You know what I mean? And it works. So a lot of people that want to play DPS, they don't think about the strategy. They just see the bodies. That's it.
Yep.
Yeah. I think if there's one thing, I mean, and I don't play as much DPS as I do the other two roles, so I don't want to like speak from the top of the DPS like mountain here necessarily. But one thing that I do think that is important about playing DPS is target prioritization, which is kind of one of those non-sexy things to talk about when it's when you're playing DPS. But to Lonzo's point, if you're just battling another DPS, your kill count can go up without really having a good effect on the team. But a really good DPS, even without a crazy high kill count, can really kind of zero in on exactly who needs to be hit and when. There's a moment when the healers, when they cycle through their cooldowns, are going to be in a kind of a weak phase or a vulnerable phase, if you will. If you increase attack during that time window and you focus in on a single target that's vulnerable, it's a lot more effective than just throwing shots into the tank because they're the biggest and most obvious target on the front line. And I do see that a lot of lost value essentially from the DPS position, from not picking, being sure to pick out your target and focus on that target as you're doing that. But just something that I think we're not getting enough value out of DPS sometimes.
Yeah, that's true. It's tough. I've seen Johnny Storms flying around fighting storms. They're just flying in the air. Yeah. I'm like, yo, what are we doing, man?
Yo, I hate Johnny Storm. Yo, I hate Johnny Storm.
Wow.
Yeah, like even as Black Panther, sometimes my kill count's not that high, but my kills were all important. Because I'm only, when I'm Black Panther, I'm only going after the healers. I'm not looking at no one else. If they got like a rocket or somebody like that, it's over with. I'm on them the whole time, and I may have only got them 3 or 4 times, but those 3 or 4 times, I see my other teammates start killing other people because I took a healer off the board. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
exactly.
DPS's job. That's DPS's job. The DPS's job is the back line. That's your job. Is the DPS job is the flank, to find a way to flank and stuff like that. And the tanks will probably handle like, and the healers will handle the tanks, and the tanks will be able to like handle the front line and get the guards up. But the DPS find a way to flank, get the back line. That way we can just run through them. That's usually the DPS's jobs. If you find a good DPS, that's why I said if you find a good Spider-Man, even a good Iron Fist that will annoy the back line, you're good. You're good. You're good.
Period.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask this question. I think it's very what's the word? Nuanced, I think. But even with the current roster, and this doesn't even have to necessarily even be long, like who do you think is useless or phased out? And by say useless or phased out, everybody has their usability, but I think there's some characters that you just go, why'd you even pick them? Right? Depending on what's going on. I would even say on the opposite end of that, I think a character that I don't see utilized enough, even in base games, is like a character like Storm, who's a booster for everybody. Like I don't see any Storms. People picking Storms on purpose. But who do you say, depending on the skill level, I guess, is you see the person pick that person and you go, why'd you pick them? If there's any character you see anybody pick it and go, really, like right now?
For me, no.
No?
There never is. I mean, I know this is an unpopular opinion because I think we got to be careful about the content creation machines that we watch with this game, because as in the case with any algorithm, it's going to attract more attention to the things that it thinks are main, right? There's 3 characters in the game right now, or 52 characters in the game, somewhere around that. There's a lot of characters in the game. Every character has value, I promise you. Every character is S tier, I promise you, if used correctly, right? But right now, for example, there's a dive meta kind of thing going on right now within the content community. And I would recommend people, by the way, learn a dive tank, at least learn a dive DPS. Dive DPS can be a little bit more complex and nuanced, but learn a dive tank, right? Because you're learning positioning and you're learning this, kind of special skill of peeling, of attacking, timing your cooldowns. There's a lot of really good stuff that's attached to that. But when we say that we're, for example, in a dive meta, it doesn't mean that, for example, there's poke characters. Poke characters are just weak. It just simply means that as players are using dive more, there's a higher percentage chance that you're going to run into a dive demon, for example, as a poke character, which might be a little bit tougher to deal with. But naturally, does it make poke characters less effective or weaker than the other characters? In my personal opinion, I think no. I think everybody is usable, but I don't think that every character is usable in every situation, if that makes any sense. And so where and when to use them is a critical part of extracting that value. But I don't believe that there's any character in the game right now that is unusable. Black Widow was close for a while because of how high a skill level you needed to be be effective with her. But I think that's probably about the closest that we've come to a character where you're like, don't pick this person, please.
I agree. Every character, even the characters I don't play, like I come across some characters that I never played before, and I'm like, okay, I see why they used them. I think most of the time it is people just using these characters incorrectly that make you be like, come on, bro. Like, who do you really play? But then there are certain characters that aren't good for certain boards. Like some boards, Groot just don't make sense on, or Penny will just slow everything down when we gotta go get somewhere. Sometimes Penny is good if we gotta hold a spot down, or we gotta stop people from getting somewhere. Same with Groot, but there's certain players that just don't make sense. Like for that new Apocalypse board that y'all were talking about, I knew my Namor was going to be effective if they had flyers because it's low ceilings. So my squids are always on the ceilings.
Everywhere, yeah.
You don't even see them. So I'm just picking them off. So I know there's certain boards that I know I'm going to be really good on, and there's certain boards I know I got to lock in as maybe Magneto because there's so many points of access for them to hit my healers. Like for like an open board, Spider-Man's going to go crazy. If they got a Spider-Man and he's good, he's dragging you off the map everywhere.
Oh my God.
Or if they have an Angela. An Angela's open map. Angela's a monster.
Angela.
Closed map, Angela's She's basically like a void in their team now. It's like if they had one tank. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I do have a bias though. I don't really like Deadpool, man. I don't know. It's something about what I see.
Wow, really?
It's something when I see it, man. It just annoys me, man. I don't know.
Is it from his kid perspective or the conversation we always have about how they've changed his character over the years?
I think it's all of it, Frost. Like I think like I just be seeing all this goofy stuff. I'm like, man, somebody gonna shoot this dude. like I don't really see DPS Deadpool ever, but I usually see tank and healer. I just hate the concept of healer DPS. Like I think they could have just made him DPS and just kept it. Like he basically took a spot for a different tank we could have had.
Yeah,
that might have been cool. He took a spot from a healer that we could have had a different healer. Like he could have just been a DPS. People that have fun with him, go out there and do what he does best. He's a merc. You know what I mean? So
yeah, the fourth wall breaking Deadpool that he can do everything is excessive. I understand that. I understand that. You know,
yeah, I'm good.
Characters. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Wavy. I'm sorry. Go ahead,
I was
Wavy.
just saying, do people like? I mean, I would assume when I see last time I played, even like when I look at stuff, I don't see a lot of Punishers anymore. He's still like prevalent like that. He's still prevalent like that. He's still out there.
He's still in the streets.
When
heavy,
he's
man.
there, he's very loud. I would say I don't know about like if his pick rate is up or down, but man, like it's tough to be bad with Punisher right now.
Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah, cause he's like
him and Devil Dinosaur got a team up where he be riding on. He be on
and
a
they both
dinosaur.
get damage reduction.
Ridiculous.
It's pretty crazy. But the Rocket team up. I mean, he stands right
there
with
Rocket
unlimited ammo. He gives himself another. He's basically creating another turret. You know the way that I look at it.
That's true.
Let's cover
We got that team. I didn't know he had the Devil Dinosaur, but I knew about the I knew about the Rocket Raccoon team. I forgot. I didn't see a lot of people like using them like that. Yeah. So I thought that maybe he was like one of the people that like just went down in usage rate, but I guess not.
I'm wondering. I mean, just the new season in general. There's so many characters that are viable to the point of this question of like, okay, who are we not using right now? Well, at least since the start of season 9, you can viably say that every character is usable. And in a couple weeks or a couple months or whatever, when people start figuring out new tech with these team ups and figuring out that certain combinations are just unstoppable and stuff, I think those kinds of things will be extracted from there. And maybe you start to say that there's a character that again is usable in so few situations that maybe you don't want to play them at all. I just don't see that. Because again, I mean, like to the point that was made earlier about Penny, for example, Penny is unstoppable. Whenever I tell you she is the keystone, most important player on the field in certain maps. And then whenever you're on offense, when you're trying to push the cart or whatever else like that, she's like a C tier, B tier kind of character, for most people. I mean, obviously there's the lords out there, but I think situationally, there's so many situations and there's so many characters in this game. And it's a part of what makes it so fun is that there's a number of ways that you can, put out fires or, start fires if that's your objective, in the game.
Yeah. Yeah. Characters that they have yet to add to the game that you would like to see added, and in what category? Let's go 1 or 2 characters. Wavy, you go first, man. 1 or 2 characters that you would like to see.
Blue Marvel.
Blue Marvel. Blue Marvel. Where?
Make a new category for like the best. Because he would just blow everything up. Like, whatever. But nah, I think he would be a good knowing his powers and stuff like that. I think he'd probably be a good man, what would he be? Maybe he could tank. Maybe that's a tough one actually. I'm not sure what he would be, but maybe I would assume maybe a tank probably could be good for him. I would also want to see trying to see who else I want to see. Yeah, they have a lot of X-Men in there and stuff. I want them to focus on some humans, you know what I'm saying? Like give me Black Bolt. Give me Black Bolt in there, you know what I'm saying? I'd be nice to see Black Bolt or Medusa. Medusa would be crazy in that game. I think she'd be great for that game actually.
I think Medusa would be great for that game. Got Ms. Marvel yet. I'm very surprised by that.
I'm surprised you don't got Ms. Marvel. I'm surprised you don't got Captain Marvel yet either.
Because Ms. Marvel was like Marvel Gaming was putting her in the front of everything damn near for like the last couple of years.
She and the Marvel Tokon
Yep.
beta that's happening this weekend as of this recording. You know what I'm saying?
Which I was
Maybe
surprised.
trying to
Like,
get
Like,
on
a
top of
special
that.
event or something. You know what I mean?
yeah, I was surprised. Like Miss Marvel, like the front person for Tokon. I play with her. She's cool in the game and stuff. She has some nice little combos and stuff. But I was surprised they chose her. And they're pushing her a lot. You know, it's probably because of the TV show and like she's like not a centerfold of the MCU, but like her character I think is well liked, so that's probably a reason why. But yeah, I would assume I was surprised they don't got Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel in there. But yeah, it's a long list of characters they could actually put in there. They could
No, I said 2, bro. I said 2. We'll be here all day. We'll be here all day. I said 2.
Yeah, that's 1,000%. So I'll probably just say Blue Marvel, and then also who's the same before Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel. Man, hey, it's a long. I'm trying to keep it to 2 characters. It's a long list. So
Yeah.
Here. Yeah. Why isn't Luke Cage in there? I think he'd be a great tank in there. Actually, I think Luke Cage in there too. Put Luke Cage in there.
Him and,
No, that
him,
put
him
all
and
black
Thing
people
would
in
have a
too.
really similar kit. I would feel like in some ways, but I think you could make enough variation on it with invincibility frames and stuff like that you could make that character really interesting. But I thought about that too about Luke Cage. Like, it seemed like it would do well.
Put him and
had the Heroes for Hire team up and stuff.
Him and put Jessica Jones DPS.
And that too, Jessica Jones, that could be a team up with those two, and then the Heroes for Hire with him and Iron Fist, that could be a team up right there. Like that's why I'm saying Marvel Rivals it's gonna be here for a long. They have so many characters. They ain't scratched the surface yet. They have so many characters they can add, but I'll let y'all go on.
I like that combination though. Yeah.
Dizzle.
I know that they got enough X-Men in the game. I know, but I'm still like salivating at the possibility of Nightcrawler's teleportability. Like I think that being able to right now we have characters that can push you off of them. They can force you off of the map, or they can bubble you, or like physically push you off the map. We have Spider-Man who can grab you. He has to be off the map, but he can grab you and pull you off of the map that way. You can teleport people off the map. That's kind of more niche. But having a character that could teleport twice, ideally, and I'm just thinking this up, right? Like you grab the initial attack grabs the enemy, you'll be able to teleport to another place, release the enemy, and then teleport back or teleport to another location so long as you can see it, right? I think that this concept and this mechanic in the game would absolutely shake it up in a new way that we haven't really seen before. We have people that could be grabbed, we have people that could be stunned, whatever. But we don't have people that are immediately being zapped out of the fight and out of the battle. And for those that could be high enough skill with Nightcrawler, you'd be able to then drop them off of the map and then teleport back on with the right movement ability. So that's what I'd really like to see. I'd also like to see MODOK as a flying floating tank, which would be I just think a fun character design. But to Wavy's point, we could be here all night talking about potential characters.
I said 2.
Those are my top 2 though.
Those are interesting.
Those are my top 2.
I didn't think about MODOK, bro. Lonzo?
Yeah, floating tank, just like flying tank. I mean, Magneto technically is a floating tank now, but like a true up in the air.
I did see some pictures of MODOK in game, so maybe.
I'm hoping. I didn't want to believe it. I didn't want to get too excited, but yeah.
And I love your point about Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler and Luke Cage were definitely on my list. But I think for me, I want to see Green Goblin. I
just thought about him too.
Green Goblin would be nasty as like a DPS, like a flying DPS that's coming out. He got his bombs he's throwing down at you. He can rumble. He can stab you with his his flying joint.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'd be a good counter for somebody like a Spider-Man or other flyers, like having him in there. Good ground control. I think that'd be dope. And if we talking, there's so many characters, man. But I think we need Juggernaut in there.
Jugs.
He's not added in there yet.
The unstoppable force.
It would be so fun. Yeah, so
Jugs.
fun.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I think that's a good counter for Thing. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Two people running because Thing run, but he don't do that in the comics. Jug does that. You know what I'm saying? Jug really do that.
Right.
I just want them to make him bigger, like make Jugs look a little bit more bigger,
Yeah.
and you know what I'm saying. Seeing that battle on the battlefield, like a Hawk versus Jugs, would be glorious. You know,
Bro, that would be fire.
Yeah.
That would be fire.
That's true.
I don't know. I think y'all put out some good points. I'm thinking basic, like, you know, Colossus, you know, as it probably the tanker DPS, so standard Colossus or whatever. You know, invincibility, push forward, you know what I'm saying? Like, very straightforward. Like, I think you guys are talking very technical. I think I'm even thinking Colossus is very, not even trying to say basic, but he's basic. It's unstoppable shield, move things forward, strength, hits, probably does like maybe like a good one or two attacks of control of some kind, like a smash, like not to the level of Thing, but just some type of forward movement, you know what I'm saying? That could be on the level of Jugs. Jugs is unstoppable, but Colossus is like a moving steel plate, like, you know, like just definitely pushing that way. And then I was also thinking Nightcrawler, but definitely thinking at that point because like we already have that technical point of Jeff being able to eat everybody, spit them off the map, or eats everybody, and then takes the L with everybody, which I cannot stand that move. I respect it. But at the same time, I guess I'm a victim of it too much to say, you just a punk ass. What are we doing? Like, what are you doing? You know, I love.
I hate Judge the Shark. I hate Judge the Shark.
I love my techniques where I have Mr. Fantastic or Cloak and Dagger or Emma, where when I hear yab yab, I go my R1. Like, especially with Mr. Fantastic, I go like this. You can't eat me. You can't eat me. I don't know what you was doing. You know. Something, same thing with Emma Frost. Diamond, can't eat me. What we doing? You can't fail. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, no, I say like Colossus, and I'll piggyback on Nightcrawler, like a couple other people too. You know what I mean? Like to be redundant, like Rhodey. There's so many different things, like, you know, characters that they're trying to think like who to add that wouldn't be like a redundant, like Miles. Why? Because you just have two Spider-Man instead of one.
Man, do it. Add Miles, please.
It could be good though. I ain't gonna lie though. I think one honorable mention I would want if it was X-Man, and I think he could play tank or DPS. He could be a healer too if they do it right. I would want Bishop for sure.
That's a good addition right there. That's
tank
a good
would be
addition.
dope because he's kind of absorbing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like his special could be his special will be one of them specials you hit when somebody else activates their special. And then you just, you know what I mean?
Because
you know what I mean?
Because we already have that with Mr. Fantastic. He absorbs and redeals damage. So that's Bishop's main deal. So we have the mechanic. It's not impossible. It's not impossible. Yes. Yes. And then
him.
I was gonna say Cable, like, you know, like, so another, like, was it guns or his spear that did as a scimitar? Everybody knows a scimitar, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, right? And he's half Cyclops, so, you know, I-beam, you know what I mean? Like, so I mean,
he's dope. He's dope. There's so many characters that they can pull out, you know what I'm saying? And do good with. When it comes to the X-Men, they can just keep going. Like, if they wanted to just do X-Men for the next year, they could. And we would be satisfied. You know what I'm saying?
Or it'd be quality characters too.
Or Morph. Because Morph can turn into someone and use an ability. So he probably use whatever character's second or their first. Like, he can't use their ult, but he can use their new.
I wouldn't be surprised if they do Mystique before they do a Morph.
Now you took that right on my. Here's why that doesn't make sense. Because she only can look like somebody.
Yeah, but you remember in the old version of Mystique, she always had that big ass gun. She stayed with a big old gun.
Okay.
She always had the pew on her. You know what I mean? Don't get it twisted.
But her turning into people.
For that, but no.
Her turning into people does what? That's her main ability. Her turning into other people.
I would say like something that you could creatively do with that though. You could instead of turning into people, you could say that she shapeshifts, right?
Yes.
So like she could shift into different shapes maybe you could talk about like using that as almost like a traversal sort of ability. Maybe you could shape, traverse into the shape of that tree over there, and then suddenly instead of that tree, now that's you.
She only does people. She only does
There are
people.
ways that you could get creative with that, but you could maybe shapeshift into a teammate on the other team, right? Maybe you don't assume their abilities, but maybe you look like them, and that means maybe you don't get hit for a few seconds, and you can maybe go around the flank, and attack.
Diversion.
Yeah, as a diversionary,
Yes.
something as like a clone or a distraction sort of technique added to it. But I always thought that with Mystique, and then it's another form of invisibility, I think.
Yeah, no,
like you can clone yourself to make it look like something else.
Say strategy would be thinking about it and I'm just trying to work it out. You turn into you pick Mystique. One of your teammates takes out Punisher, and then Mystique goes to backline, turns into Punisher. Punisher's with whomever going like this, and they go, yeah, I got my Punisher, whatever. And then your other Punisher goes, all right, I'm coming back, guys. Another person's like, and look at you, and you go, you know what I'm saying, like blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying, like you thought it was who. So I get it, but it'll take. I mean, especially with the chaos is moving. If you see another Punisher and you think that's your boy, and it might change the color of your name, because everybody got health bar. You can see who's an enemy, who's not.
Yeah.
So that'd be a lot to change it to like you think that's an ally, and that however long that ability lasts, 30 seconds. That might be
I
too
just
long.
remember that being
20
a
seconds.
power up in. I remember that being an upgrade in Call of Duty. That was one of the perks. I can't even remember which one it was right now, but in Call of Duty multiplayer, you could, your special was like you could clone yourself to look like a teammate or look like one of their teammates, if just not for a few seconds. And that's kind of what gave me the idea for it. But like it's a tricky sort of thing because in Call of Duty you have seconds, fractions of a second to react, of course. And in Rivals, it's still pretty fast, right? Like if you see a Punisher to your point that's over there and you're like, oh, that's my Punisher, you might turn your whole attention away from him and look somewhere else. And now that Punisher or the Mystique, forming back to her normal self is now attacking you from an angle that you've intentionally turned. It just gives everyone just a split second, something to think about.
I'll be honest, I do that with Loki oftentimes. So sometimes I'll duplicate the person on their team so they don't know. They think that's their Wanda. Nah, that's me, bro. And, you know what I mean? It's a wrap. Or like Jeff will be on their team and he just did something. So then I'll turn to Jeff and just take Jeff. You know what I'm saying? And then it's the same thing. So Mystique will be dope. I do think one that I'm curious about in the Sinister Six, I would love to see Dr. Octopus.
Yes.
Doc Ock.
Yes.
He's intelligent, he's smart, you know what I mean? He got them tentacles. I don't know how he would play. He could potentially be one of them type of tank type dudes too. Like however you planning for a MODOK, you could kind of plan
because we had the mechanic with Mr. Fantastic's arms and Penny's tentacles. So that's like out. So we were already talking about angles for different things that he could do. And then Mr. Fantastic's grab that I mentioned earlier, Doc Ock, grabbing, holding people, you know what I mean?
That could be a grab. Yeah, he could be holding them with the tentacle and still be able to move around or throw them, or whatever else like that.
Because Emma Frost has an ability that one thing I say utilize, I'm really trying to master it, is if she gets, with her L1, if she gets a healer in the diamond pull for the health and I shoot that, healer's done. I rarely catch a healer out lacking with that diamond ability. You have to be aiming and tapping on point to pull that diamond for damage. So same thought, being able to pull a healer out, like you said with Doc Ock, holding them up, maybe doing damage, maybe holding up like this and be like, yo, everybody shoot them while I'm holding them like this. You know what I'm saying? They be like, all right, bet, do. And so.
And being able to like attach himself to walls, you know what I mean? Like he could be like a Venom or something like that. He could be lurking, above your spawn, for example, and just picking you up and grabbing you like, what's up? That could be an OP setup,
Yeah, it could be. It's so much Marvel can do, man, because their characters are so versatile.
Mm-hmm.
They can do anything. And even like with a character like Hood that's coming out, right? Like,
oh yeah.
I don't even really know what to expect from his kit, but I'm sure it's gonna be interesting.
It's gonna bang.
You know what I mean? because no one participated Gambit to be a healer or Jubilee, and the
See?
Gambit as a healer works perfectly.
It does.
It's
I agree.
actually pretty dope. You know what I mean?
I agree.
So
2 more questions. In the things that we've talked about, we're all talking about team strategies, which is a big thing about communication, especially in this era of social media and people being toxic and just trying to be the main character. But there are people out there who want to have a good time and know how to strategize. Mm-hmm. How can the game garner a better and more inviting community? I know it's a rough question. You'd be like, pass. We could just technically go back to the next question. That's totally impossible. But in a world where everybody knows how to communicate and not be toxic and actually be, all right, we didn't win, but good game, and not, my whole team was cheeks and that's why we lost. Not discounting their numbers if they even did anything amazing, but it's like in a dream, like trying to think about how to make the game a more inviting and more healthy community for people to want to be in.
I would say, I know some people are against it, and this can only be in competitive. I'm not opposed to role queue. I'm not opposed to role queue at all. I think that would make the game a lot better because it's people just being ignorant to be ignorant. Like, yo, I'm not going tank. Well, it's too bad, bro. That's have a tank. Yeah. You gotta be. You know what I mean? Those roles are already filled. And then even in game, like when we got to swap out, if the person want to swap to a tank, that tank has to come off that. You know what I mean? Or vice versa. You got to figure it out. So that I think that would even make the game more teamwork heavy because we go in there knowing like, all right, who do you main? Who do you main? Who's your main? Who you main? All right, you stick tank, blah blah blah. I got healer. We just lock in. You know what I'm saying? But I think role queue would make the competitive community better.
Role queue, I like that. I'm not opposed to that. I'm not
opposed to role queue either. Just as an option, maybe because the other side of it is, I do see the creativity of team comps being something different than 2-2-2, and there being value and fun in playing the game like that, and also opposing. If they're running 3-2-1, maybe we could run our own version of whatever else like that to kind of counter that.
Yeah, it was a 4-1-1, right? Tank 4 DPS healer, like because of Jubilee or 4. Yeah.
Mix it up. So from a creative, like overall possibilities perspective, I do understand, keeping it kind of free and open. But to that point, role queue would teach people. I think it would help people. Let me not say that. It would help people learn, I think, these specific roles more specifically. If you're having a bad day or having a bad game as a tank, you can't just switch off to a DPS because that's your favorite character. Or that's your, like you got to switch to another tank. Like you're either going to be you're going to be bad at this tank, or you're going to learn with this tank. Rather, you're going to learn with another tank. And I think that it does sort of funnel you into that. And that would be like my biggest thing. I know we'll get into it with the next question, but like having the community focus a little bit more on learning. And playing their role, learning the roles, playing their roles, and learning each character, I think would help people become less frustrated. The people that are yelling like, "Oh, I went 32-5. How come you're only 10-12 or something?" There's a moment right there where I think there's a moment in every game where you can learn something about your gameplay. Maybe I just didn't play well, but maybe I played poorly into something, or maybe this isn't the best character for this map, or whatever else like that. I think that has to be more a part of the analysis rather than people pointing fingers. I think this is a very tempting community that's very tempted to point fingers. Yeah. I did what I was supposed to do. What about you? That's not what this game is about at all. It's about how you can accomplish what you can accomplish as a team. So I admittedly don't know how the developers could do that or how we as individuals can do that, but continue, obviously, trying to help people whenever there's moments of help. That's the biggest thing. If your DPS sucks, it's probably because they're not doing something right. Maybe they're just a thrower, but it's probably because they're not doing something right. So even just saying, hey, don't, dive in so much or peel back a little bit, that could be more helpful than just saying, bro, you went 10-12, you're trash, uninstall the game. So that could be a start, but it's an uphill battle for sure.
Yeah.
I have two sides to this. I mean, I think being on the positive side, I think like what Lonzo said was a really good one. The roll queue that could definitely help out, especially in a certain mode and rank. I think that could help out just because. I mean, just all the rank dash, honestly, with the 2-2-2, whatever. Just because like they had that before in other games. I know Overwatch had that before and everything, where it was like 2-2-2, and it was actually like really good. Like, you know, and if you lost out on the roll, you lost out on the roll. Yeah, you got to choose somebody else. But then that could also be like, if you don't know how to use that certain like that kind of tier, then now your team is kind of now is not that good, whatever.
It's affecting their result. Yeah, it's affecting the result.
The result,
Somebody
exactly.
playing out of position, basically.
Dog, I'm trying to escape. I'm trying to escape bronze. I'm trying to escape silver. I don't need you trying something.
See,
you know what I'm saying? Like
that's the reason why I think that roll cookie it could work. At the same time, it can't. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like it depends. Like I think if you're going to ranked, that's when you need to. It's time to lock in. It's time to know, like, you know, what you can, what you're good, what you can, who you can use, who you can't use. Because no one got time for like losing and going down their rank, especially the sweaty ones and stuff. Especially the sweaty ones, because they'll tell you in a minute. You'll switch up that character. You need somebody else. You need this. You need that to combat this character.
Period.
And people might not want to do that, but then at the same time, that's what casual matches for. That you just play, you get a couple wins, or you get a couple L's, whatever you try to get the next day. Now, the other side of me is the pessimist side. It's not going to work because it's not going to work. It's too many spots in this game. Like it's too many spots in this game. It's not going to happen because like I don't care. That's why. That's one of the reasons why like I stopped playing before because like it was almost as toxic as like Overwatch when it got like the mainly sweaty ones online. It was like, you know what? I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going somewhere else, and that was it. So that was both of my sides, but I think looking on the positive side, it can work. It's just that it has to be, you know, the certain modes you go on to, that's when you know it's time to like lock in. Casual, you're just regular. Ranked is like, all right, now we're here to play. We're here to like really go in.
Yeah.
If you're not ready for that, then get out.
We're here on business, you know what I mean?
Right.
How you feel about if the roll queue was only relegated to like bronze, silver, and gold?
Hell,
past that, then you got the because as soon as you get the gold, they voting players out anyway.
To your point, yes, you just took it out of my mind because why is that not? Why is blocking not available in the lower tiers? Why is it only up tiers you start being able to ban people? Why is that not a whole ranked wide option?
I guess they want to encourage people
more competitive, right?
Ranked is competitive. You're trying to escape the trenches. You know what I'm saying?
I do think that, like, but lower elo like that, like if you're in bronze, silver, gold, the players that are in that community, the overall, you know, what do you call that? Player count at those levels is massive compared to the, you know, let's say plat and above levels. There are so many different people that fall into that category. You can come over from other games, not really knowing anything about the stuff that we've talked about today, positioning and situations and maps and all that other stuff, and you can work your way up to gold. And it's not necessarily because you're so good at the game or you're so blessed or you got carried or anything else like that. I think it's just a natural kind of flow of the way that things go. And then once you get to gold, you start to enter that category that separates the wheat from the chaff, which is why the bans come in at that point, because bans are about strategy. It's about blocking the other team's strategy, or it's about your team specifically wanting to implement a strategy that you must now ban players so that you can guarantee that you can like bring that force to the other team. When you're in bronze, silver, and gold, people are just playing, man. They're just, you know, it's almost like, you know, a team deathmatch lobby, you know, with slight objectives, you know, side objectives rather, of moving the cart and things like that. And because there's so many people that are playing in that range, from people that just hopped onto the game to people that are actually trying to climb, it makes it the hardest to climb out of that range. But there's no need to ban anyone, because there's people that are like, I don't even know the strategy of, I barely play this one character, let alone having to block a meta or block a whole team strategy that might get in the way of me doing my thing.
Period.
You know,
I ain't gonna lie too. I think that that does make sense because it's so many. It's like general pop is in that first three realms, bronze, silver, and gold. But it really, you feel that separation when you get the gold one. Like you feel that, like you got to be good at certain people, which is why like I made it a point when I first started the game and I said I wanted to do competitive. I said I'm a master at least 2 or 3 characters in each category.
Yep.
Because luckily for me, Strange and Magneto don't get banned too often.
Nope.
Thor definitely Thor gets banned sometimes, but Namor gets banned, Black Panther gets banned, certain strategists get banned. But I can always switch to one because I got multiples that I can play in different categories. So for people that are playing a game or want to get into the game, be open to playing characters you didn't think that you would play.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of characters that their game style may just fall right into your hand.
Yep. Yeah. Say for me, and it actually goes into I'll just introduce it here to say tips for new players or players that have been playing for a long time and just can't grasp who they think they want to. It's like you might think you're good at Bucky. You're not. Sorry.
Practice.
Practice? Yes, practice.
Practice, watch,
and they have a practice range. They have a practice range where you can do like what's the danger room. I did the other day, put on 3 level 9 Buckies or whatever, and I'm over here fighting for my life. You know what I'm saying? Like just trying to get my good thing up. But tips for new players or players that are playing the game that can't quite get the hang of a character they want to get a hang of. They might be good at it or whatever. They're just general tips. I think Toons, you were getting into that with like have a second, have a third stringer, have your options in that category and say, oh, I only play Bucky, and if he's banned, well, I can't play the game anymore. That's horrible. You know what I'm saying?
I'll say that. Be a flexible player, man. Be able to be a chameleon because you may have to change. Like, don't matter how many kills you're getting. Prime example, I was playing, some tank spots were already locked in. We got obliterated that first match. I was like a Namor. I was doing all right, but the tank position was hurting. So I switched to tank. We won the game. But you never know. Like, you know what I mean? You never know. So just being open to be flexible, to know other characters and other roles. I know most people really frown upon being a strategist or a healer. But I think that they think that's like the boringest, most unimportant role to have.
It's not important.
When it's the most important role to have, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But learn. Yeah, I would say that, man. Everybody learn a healer, learn the tank. DPSs are easy, man. You just pick who you like to kill with. That's it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Pick your kill.
But learn a healer. Learn 2 healers, 2 tanks, and you will be valuable to any team you could be on. Those positions. Learn who you could be valuable with, and that's it.
I heavily agree. Having a diversification of heroes is majorly important. When you get into ranked, it's not just about your player potentially being banned, but just that point that Lonzo brought up. There's a situation where your team is going to be lacking in some kind of category. And having a breadth of characters that do different things just helps just have them in the different categories, like you said. But, have a character that you can apply pressure with offensively. Have a character that's a protector. Have a character that you're really good at burst healing with. Have a character that you're good at stopping the dive, a healer that you can defend against the dive with. So when you're thinking about diversifying that kit, think about not just having different players on your roster, but think about what that player does well, having those different effects. If you're getting whooped in one type of way, you can switch to a different effect, not just a different character, but you can have a different impact on the game by swapping characters, which I think is super important. And don't play ranked for a while. If you're new, don't play ranked for a while. I mean, it's just when I tell you it's not, I don't think it's worth it, because ranked is going to, especially for new players, going to introduce you to concepts that you don't quite understand. You might be getting smacked in a match and you don't quite understand why you're getting smacked. You might be thinking, well, I just need to play better. I need to be, and in ranked, that might not be the case. It could be a wrong, So just stay away from ranked for a little while, not because you're not ready for it, not because you're not high enough skilled for it, but because you need to be able to learn what these characters do in spots. And I think quick match is the perfect place for that. If you want to use the practice range to kind of get used to things like range. How far does this, Groot whip? The Groot branch go? Stuff like that is better to find out in the practice range. But in quick match, you are going to run into a number of situations, anything from bots all the way to people who are trying to lord characters. So they're very high skilled that you're going to run into in quick match. It might seem a little chaotic, but there's a lot of real game experience, I guess you could say, that's within that quick match. So stay away from ranked for a little while until you get, as Lonzo was saying, a mastery across a nice portfolio of characters. Then go into ranked, have some fun that way.
Yeah, that's they definitely, Lonzo and Dizzle definitely explained what you should do and everything. I'm gonna say don't be in ranked until you're ready for it. When you're ready, till you're ready for it, practice. Don't let words hurt you.
Turn them comms off if necessary.
If you go on ranked, you're not well enough. So, watch tutorials, do whatever, man. The practice range is there for a reason. The danger room, whatever. Like, just practice with, and don't just do one character, because like they said, if you get banned, if that character's banned, you can't play it no more. Or like if they ever do what's it called?
The roll queue.
If they ever do roll queue, and now you got stuck on tank, you can't play tank. Now the team is in jeopardy now because of you. Like,
I can see that being a mode. I can see that being an optional mode.
Definitely.
You know what I'm
saying?
saying?
I can definitely see it being a mode, and it'll be like it'll definitely be very toxic over there. I can already see it right now.
There's gonna be no room for error in that lobby.
Exactly, So yeah, practice range. Do some quick matches, casual matches before you step into that range, because it's a whole different ball game when you get in the range matches. So yeah, but I'll be in casual or quick matches until you master certain characters, and when you're ready for that, then you move on to the next level.
Then you graduate, my son,
right.
or my daughter. Then you graduate.
Exactly.
The thing that I find that I don't hear a lot about, because people might jump straight into ranked or even jump into quick play, but I think it's underutilized. And I think Tunes and I, we did it one time, and I haven't done it in a while. You can take a friend into practice range with you.
Yeah,
you can take a friend in there with you, so y'all could be just kind of like this character. I don't think you can fight each other. I don't recall, but you can. I
don't think so.
You can be in there with a friend, so they might be like looking at your moves. They could be somebody that's in there with you and go, I see. How about try this? And they might try a character and go practice on the whatever and show you, because sometimes you might not you just don't know. You don't know what you don't know, right? And to everybody's point about watching videos, and I'll get to that in a second. Just in general for my guy here, watching videos for tips and things like that. Sometimes you might watch it, you might forget it. People can help you with that, but there's a mode that you can play against AI, and you can basically play chess by yourself. And Tunes, what I'm talking about, where you pretty much can have it where me and Tunes might fight against each other, and we pick AI bots for 5 others and fight each other on some chess match stuff. You know what I'm saying? So you can, and AI doesn't do bad. You can see what AI decides to do with the move. You go, I didn't think about it like that.
I ain't gonna lie to a lot of them high ranked teams being in practice ranges, man, working on strategies and flanks. And, you go here, you go there. Like teams, them cats that's really elite, they be in there practicing that Spider-Man. They just practice to pull off the map all day. That's all they practice.
It's like with the FGC and all that. Like if you cause I be watching some FGC. I've subscribed to a couple of them, like, and everything. If you see them and they live, whatever, they just be in like the practice, and it be in the dojo, just practicing mad combo strings and all that kind of stuff, the blocking, all over and over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying? And I think there's a quote that Corner used to say that like, practice until you can't get it wrong or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So like that's what they do. And I think those teams, like you said, they be in the practice, like those Marvel rivals, like I think the league and everything, like those teams, they probably just be in the practice range all day with each other, looking at different things and looking at different like how does this predict out, like what does it launch to, like how much damage does it do and stuff, and how they can team up with it.
Range, all that stuff.
Facts.
I actually learned Black Panther by going into that Doom match. You know that like player versus everybody thing?
Yeah.
That mode too for DPS. That's the other thing. Going into the fighting players, yeah.
just went in there and I was like, yo, I'm not until I learn how to get kills instantly. I'm not getting up out of here. So I just went in there with Black Panther. Then once I started feeling comfortable, I went in a quick match. I said, oh, I'm kind of nice. And I just kept working and working and working, and then that was it, bro. And then, you know what I mean? So, yeah, use them other games, man. Use the practice ranges. Use everything just to get nice.
And you, too, can be a
Success.
Success.
you know. But overall, I'd say I love the community conversation that we've had here. I feel like, not that we're rare, I think there are a lot of us out there that are, you know, similar in a way that we want to have a conversation, have a better game, have fun. You know, strategizing, communicating is fun, y'all. Trust me. Being a lone wolf is cool, but it's not progressive. That's all I'm gonna say. That's a wrap, squad. Be sure to search for us anywhere on the internet at Phuca-Pod. Check out all of our available content across all platforms. I've been your host, Frosty Phoenix. Catch me across the web, FROSTYPHENIX. Video games, voice acting, all that good stuff. Squad, close out with your socials. We'll go Wavy, Dizzle, Tunes.
Was goody, everybody. Thank y'all for listening to another episode of Phuca-Pod. You know what I'm saying? Y'all has been listening to the voice of Wavy God again. Of course, you can follow me on X or Twitter or on Instagram as well. I put it in the beginning of the episode. I'll say it again. WAVII_JWD on X, Twitter, and WAVIIGAWD_ Instagram. Sneaker lover, anime watcher, video game player is signing out, and thank you to our guests for being here today and the knowledge of Marvel Rivals and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? So I'll let them put the outros out, but Wavy God is out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate you guys having me on as well. This has been a wonderful experience, by the way. We got to do this again. Certainly with this game or with other games as well. Make sure you catch my content at King Dizzle Games. That's King Dizzle Games. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Instagram right now. I'm working on getting on TikTok, you know, and figuring that whole portion of it out as well. But we are up there right now. We post game guides, and we're doing a lot of what we did on the show today, which is having conversations about how to maximize value of every character. As I said, I believe every character is S tier in Marvel Rivals. So make sure you give us a follow and share also more information about tips and tricks that you have on the page. It's a community effort. We'll get there one post at a time. King Dizzle Games.
There you go.
And it's your boy, Lonzo Starr, CEO and founder of Konkret Comics, writer of the legendary Acolyte, Zoriel, and a slew of other titles. We got a lot of good things going on at Konkret Comics. We just dropped a lot of new graphic tees. We got 3 of them out right now that you guys can get. We got a new book, The Underneath, that's available on the website. Solar books are going out to the backers from the Kickstarter, so that's coming to the website. We got an announcement about a new Acolyte book, and we got a K-Way weekend coming up as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, just lock in, man. Make sure y'all follow us on IG at Konkret Comics, you know, spelled with a K, Konkret Comics, on Facebook, IG. I'm getting better on TikTok as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. One breath at a time.
Man, just to stay in touch, Phuc. I really appreciate y'all having me on this podcast. This was fun. We definitely gotta come on this joint and talk maybe seasonal Marvel Rival stuff, man. You know what I mean?
It's a thought. It's a thought, man. See how the game rolls out, what changes they make. Season 9 is currently active. We'll see what the future of the game holds, and we'll see if some of our character predictions are right or wrong. What they decide to do and how that works out for everybody moving forward. Whether we continue to love the game or absolutely hate the game, depending on who they decide to put in the ring with the rest of us. It's been good, squad. And let me see. Let me try to find it. Squad! Thank you, Desert. Peace out, y'all.
Peace.